Have you ever felt like you're capable of so much more, but somehow find yourself playing small, holding back, or second-guessing your own voice? Listen closely. Confidence isn't something some women magically have and others just don't. It's built, it's earned, and today we're bridging that gap together. Let's stop holding ourselves back and start owning the powerful presence we deserve. Hey y'all, welcome back to Living the Whole Picture, the podcast for ambitious women ready to elevate their visibility, build authentic confidence, and become the face of their brand. I'm your host, Jama Pantel, a luxury portrait photographer, author, educator, influencer, and dream chaser, here to help you master your brand presence and show up authentically with confidence. Each week, we'll dive into topics to help you shine in business and in life so you can stop hesitating and start showing up like the leader you were meant to be. If you've ever struggled with confidence on camera or hesitated to put yourself out there, this podcast is for you. Let's get started on living the whole picture together. Today, we're diving deep into something I like to call the confidence gap. It's real, it's frustrating, and it's holding too many of us back from stepping into the spotlight and truly shining. So let's jump right in. Today, we're tackling this issue that so many of us feel but rarely speak openly about. What I call the confidence gap. Simply put, the confidence gap is the tendency for women, even those who are incredibly talented, educated, and successful, to underestimate themselves, second-guess their qualifications, and hold back their brilliance in spaces where their voices need to be heard the most. How many times have you found yourself overthinking a situation, hesitating to speak up during meetings, or even backing away from opportunities simply because you weren't 100% sure you were qualified? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you're not alone. I'm going to share something very personal with y'all right now. Early in my career, when I was working in politics, I often walked into rooms where I was the youngest person and frequently the only female. Despite my education, experience, and the incredible ideas I wanted to contribute, my self-doubt would creep in, whispering those damaging little thoughts. They'll think I'm too young, they won't take me seriously, and what if I embarrass myself? I held back my own voice, my presence, and my potential because I allowed these internal messages to dictate my actions. It wasn't until I saw male colleagues confidently asserting themselves without hesitation, even if their ideas weren't half as good, that it finally clicked for me. Why was I holding myself back while others boldly stepped forward? The truth was, they weren't necessarily smarter or more capable. They just weren't stuck in the cycle of overthinking and second-guessing. They simply moved forward confidently. This moment of realization became the cornerstone of the powerful presence I now teach women to build. But the journey and bridging my own confidence gap wasn't overnight. It required intentional work, honest self-reflection, and practical strategies that I'm sharing with you today. Now, before we can fix something, we have to understand it. So let's look into a few reasons why women, despite being incredibly capable, often doubt themselves and hold themselves back. Number one, the perfectionism trap. This is something I fall into. Research shows that many women feel they must meet 100% of job criteria or qualifications before applying or speaking up, whereas men, they often apply confidently at 60%. We believe we must be perfect, otherwise we remain silent. I did a lot of research on this topic before coming to speak on it, and all of it made total sense and sounds like stuff I had done early on, so I feel more confident talking and sharing about it now. Number two is societal conditioning. From a young age, many of us have been subtly taught to be agreeable, humble, polite, not too loud, not too ambitious. You know, being the perfect girl. While humility and kindness are virtues, they shouldn't come at the expense of your own voice or your own ambition. And number three, this is the one I hear all the time from women I've worked with, fear of judgment. Women, particularly in male-dominated industries, often fear being judged harshly or labeled negatively for showing assertiveness or ambition. This fear can prevent us from stepping up even when we're completely capable. Recognize these. You're not alone. And the good news is, each one is something we can actively work on overcoming. So now, let's dive into strategies to overcome this confidence gap. So I promised practical tips to help you bridge your confidence gap, and here they are. Number 1, reframe your inner dialogue. We spend so much time in our own heads, so we need to learn to shift the dialogue and remember that the words we say to ourselves truly matter. Change that inner narrative from I can't to I'll try, and from what if I fail to what if this is exactly the opportunity I've been waiting for. They really are simple fixes and things we need to remember to do in our own heads where we live. So here's a personal example from me. Whenever my inner critic starts whispering doubts, I challenge it directly. And I've done this publicly sometimes where I challenge myself to do things that I don't think will work. And then I've proved that they do and I was wrong. So I go from that whole I'm not qualified enough to force myself to pause and literally say things like I'm exactly where I need to be or where I should be. I know it sounds simple, but saying it out loud helps drown that negative inner voice. Now, number 2, lean into discomfort intentionally. This is, again, something I do a lot, y'all. Confidence grows faster in uncomfortable situations. Challenge yourself to speak up in the next meeting, post that video online, or volunteer to present your ideas first. Lean into your discomfort intentionally and realize it's a gateway, not a barrier. When I first started creating videos and reels, I was terrified. My first YouTube video, ridiculously scared. And I was thinking, what if no one watched? Or what if they thought I looked silly? Guess what happened? Nothing. Some people absolutely loved it. Most really didn't care. No one criticized or attacked me. And the more I did it, the easier it became. The growth came because I leaned into that discomfort, and I know you can too. And I say this all the time. Just record yourself. No one has to see it. Practice, practice, practice. Now, number 3, celebrate every win, big or small. Every small act of courage matters, and each one is a building block. Learn to pause and celebrate every win, even tiny little moments like speaking up during a meeting or finally posting a confident selfie. These little celebrations rewire your brain to associate confidence with positive outcomes. It becomes addictive, motivating you to repeat that courageous behavior over and over again. Number 4, build your confidence squad. I talk about this often, networking and community building and finding your tribe. This is huge. You can never underestimate the power of surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, challenge you, and genuinely want to see you succeed. Find those mentors, accountability partners, or join groups specifically focused on uplifting ambitious women. Trust me, I have my groups and I don't know where I would be without them. So remember that confidence grows stronger when we see it reflected in the eyes of those who truly believe in us. You know what they say, you are who you surround yourself with. So make sure you surround yourself with the right people. I want to encourage you today, right here, right now, to stop holding yourself back. You have talent, you have skills and brilliance that this world needs. You have unique stories, insights, and perspectives that must be shared. Confidence isn't a personality trait. It's a skill you build, a muscle you strengthen, and a bridge you can cross over and over again until it becomes second nature. I think that's why I love running so much. I have this ingrained in me to just show up day after day, even when it's not the best. And that plays so much into this. Practice makes perfect, and it becomes a habit. I want you to take one intentional action today to bridge your confidence gap. Post something authentic online, speak up about your idea in your next meeting, or reach out to someone you've been meaning to connect with but have held back. Then DM me or tag me in your social media stories. I want to celebrate these brave moments alongside you. So, for my closing thoughts, listen up, y'all. The confidence gap is real, but it's not permanent. Remember, confidence isn't something you're born with necessarily, but it is something that you can build. It's a hero's journey, and every single step you take forward is bringing you closer to that confidence, that powerful presence you're meant to have. Thank you so much for tuning in to Living the Whole Picture. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave me a review, and share it with another high-achieving woman who needs to hear this message. Or better yet, share it and tag me on social media. Visit my website, jamapantel.com, for more resources, updates, and ways we can work together. Be sure to subscribe while you're on the website so you never miss anything. You've worked hard to get where you are. Now it's time to show up confidently and own your presence. Until next time, keep showing up and living the whole picture.